Welcome to the Sam and Joe VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to start and scale a thriving virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Joe, and get ready to have the control, flexibility, and freedom you've always dreamed of.
Welcome to episode 150, Ask for What You Need.
Yeah, it sounds relatively simple, surely. If you need something, if you want something, whether that's from a client or a fellow virtual assistant or your coaches or your partner or your children, whoever it is, I think we assume that they know what we need. They assume that they're doing stuff the right way.
Yeah.
But often we actually just have to ask for something. We need to be really, really specific, communicating our needs and our wants with those around us. And we just don't, and we're not. And we're seeing virtual assistants really struggle because they are not being honest and they are not being specific and they're not asking for what it is that they need.
That's a great summation of what we're seeing right now. Like that not being specific, I think, is really key too, because sometimes we can be quite ambiguous with our requests to people. And I think this was the catalyst, wasn't it, for this episode where I had written an article for like an association, and it was really kind of different in terms of what I would normally write. And it was a little controversial what I had kind of introed with. So I wanted to gauge whether they were going to be okay with this controversy. And I provided kind of my thoughts about what I would include, the outline, the kind of intro. And I said, hey, just want to check and make sure that I'm on the right track here and this is okay. And they came back and said, yeah, sounds great. And then I was like, oh God, do they actually mean that? Like, is it actually good? Like, I really needed more. I needed more confirmation that this was going to be okay.
Yes, you needed more reassurance in that moment that you weren't getting. And we hopped on
Yeah.
a Zoom that morning to start work, and you were off. There was something off. You were off your game. You weren't your normal confident self. And it was like, what's going on? And you shared this with me. And what did I say to you, Joe?
Did you ask them for that feedback or reassurance?
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I definitely didn't. So that was in my lack of it not being very specific and actually asking for what I need.
And because you weren't specific in what you wanted or needed from that person, it's then that's when the anger and the resentment can kick in, right? You start blaming the other person for not giving you what you need. But that other person, whoever that is, an editor, once again, a partner, a client, your coach, they're not mind readers. They are not mind readers. So it's very unfair to blame somebody for not giving you what it is that you need if you're not being honest about it. Or
That's
clear about it, specific about it.
It's very below the line, isn't it? To get into that, like, oh, they didn't give me what I needed. I'm blaming them for what's not going right. And I think we see this a lot with virtual assistants who have a client that is frustrating them. They complain about that client. Oh, my client is not giving me the info that I need. They're not paying on time, etc., whatever is going wrong. But actually, the client is probably none the wiser that anything is wrong at all. They think everything is fine. And it's because you haven't specifically told them or asked them what you want and need from them. So how would they know?
How would they know? They think you are as happy as they are. How do they know?
And you've given them no reason to think otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's about having the confidence, getting some courage to have a discussion with your client and actually let them know and ask for what you need from them.
Yes. Like, this doesn't have to be a confrontational discussion or conversation. I think once again, our brains sometimes immediately go to worst case scenario. if I bring this up, this is gonna get awkward. It's gonna be difficult. The client's not gonna be happy with me. All of a sudden, I'm gonna be the one that's rocking the boat because everything else is going really well. I don't want to rock the boat because everything else is going really, really well. I'm then going to lose this client. Like worst case scenario, having an honest conversation with this client means that they're gonna sack me. They're not going to want me to help them next month.
Mm.
Like, what are the chances of that actually happening?
Yeah, almost zero. Like,
Zero.
they don't know that they're doing something that's frustrating you.
No, they don't. They don't. Comes back to not being a mind reader and you are assuming a whole heap of things.
Mhm.
Got to get rid of those two things entirely. Be gone.
Yeah. So have a think right now. Who is your client that is frustrating you? Not giving what you need, making it clunky hard, that you're like, "Oh, this client is so annoying." Who is that client for you right now? And what can you say to them that is going to let them know that something needs to change? A
Yeah.
better way to do something, different comms tool, whatever it might be to fix this problem, putting them on automatic payment, direct debit. Like, what is the thing that you can talk to them about that's going to fix this problem? Because I
Yeah.
guarantee there are so many things you could do differently, and like you in control of what you can do differently, and that conversation
Yeah.
you can have with them that is going to turn things around.
Yes. The other situation that we see a lot of virtual assistants get into when they're not being open and honest and specific about what they need is referrals.
Mm,
When they need more clients, when they've got clients under their belt already and they're
mhm.
doing a great job for them and those clients are super happy with the work that you're producing for them. But you might have a spot or two to fill. But you're struggling to fill that last spot of yours.
Hmm. Because you're kind of waiting, right? You're just waiting for other clients to people to
Yeah,
inquire and become clients, and you're just assuming that your clients will tell other people about you.
but will they? Or do you actually just need to have that conversation and say, "Hey, I've got a spot to fill. I've got so many hours to give a new client. Is there anybody that you know that would benefit from my services?"
Mhm.
Ask
The
for what
client is
you
likely
need.
to say, "Oh, right, you do. So you do need another client. Okay, yeah, I'll keep it on my radar now. And now that I know that you've got a spot, I can keep an eye out or an ear out."
Yeah. I mean, it may not come to anything, but what if it did? What if
Mhm.
that one very casual slip it in a conversation thing that you say then gets you fully booked? What if
Mhm.
they know multiple people that you would be a great fit for, but they've just assumed that you're fully booked because you haven't told them otherwise?
Yeah. I think they're gonna assume that you're fully booked more than not booked enough.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
like, if you've never said anything and you're doing work for them, they're gonna assume that you're doing work for others and that everything is going great for you. If
Yeah.
it's not the case, let them know you've got that spot.
Same goes, current clients that you're working for. Who's to say that they don't have more hours to give you if you don't have that
Mm,
conversation? You know your client best, right? You know exactly the extra things that you could be taking off their plate in order to make their life even better than it currently is.
mhm.
Suggest it.
Yeah, you see the gaps. You see things that aren't quite how they should be that you could help them with. So absolutely suggest those things because they may not even occur to them. They may not have even stopped to
Mhm.
think, I could be using my virtual assistant more.
Yeah.
Because when you're busy, overwhelmed, that is not something that occurs to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Which seems crazy.
Oh,
Why?
it seems so easy. Just ask for what you need.
Mhm. Another thing that we see virtual assistants not doing is posting on social media to say that they have an opening or they have space for another 2 clients or 1 client or X number of hours or a package or, future months. Do you think that virtual assistants are afraid to put that out there because then it's like admitting that they're not fully booked?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And that is, I think they're fearful that that is then weak, like it's a weak thing, like it's people are going to then judge you, whether that's fellow virtual assistants that follow you or potential leads. Like a potential lead doesn't care if you're fully booked or not. Well, I mean, they do. It's the other way, right? They don't want you to be fully booked because they want to
Mhm.
work with you.
Mhm. Yes. Showing that you have a space for 1 or 2 other clients is not any sign of, like, you not being a very good VA. It
Yeah.
actually does the opposite, like you say, Sam. It shows that, oh, you're not fully booked, you're not too busy, you're not gonna, like, fumble through my work and, like, not be responsive. You've got space. You've
Yes.
planned out your capacity, you're organized, you are very clear on what you can offer and not overcommit.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a really great VA, and you have
Yes.
the space for me.
Yes. When done well, that's exactly what that post will
Mm,
attract. You
mhm,
There are virtual assistants that we've seen attempt this type of post, and it hasn't gone so well in terms of they're allowing that desperation come
mm,
through instead
mhm.
of being very specific, like, "I've got 1 spot to fill." Doesn't matter if you've got 5 spots to fill, if you've got no
Yeah.
clients, you don't wanna be saying that.
Mm.
So there's a
Yes, that's
way
very
of
different.
doing it that's gonna come across better than allowing that desperation to come through in
Yeah,
your wording.
yeah. All right, something else that we see is those who are struggling in their business right now as a virtual assistant and not asking for any help,
Yeah.
quietly struggling.
And it's not even the lurkers. It's not even the lurkers. I think even some of the most engaged virtual assistants that we have in our various community groups um, can fall into this trap of not being specific in sharing what's not going very well in their
Mm.
business.
Mm,
I mean, how can anybody help you if you're not specific with your gaps are, with
mm.
what it is that you're struggling with?
And being honest about that. And we promise you there are other virtual assistants who are in this exact
Yeah.
same situation that you are in right now with the exact same struggles. And
Mhm.
they are going to really appreciate you being honest about that
Yeah.
and asking for that help.
Yeah. I can guarantee you that either Joe and I have most likely gone through that same experience, that
Mhm.
whatever it is that you're struggling with as well.
Yeah. It's not like we started our businesses and everything was perfect from the start. Like, we
Oh,
had to
it wasn't?
learn as well to figure out, like,
Yeah.
my cash flow's crap. That's okay. I need to make some changes. What am I going to do? I don't have enough clients and I've got too many team
Yeah.
members. What am I going to do? Oh, I don't have any forward bookings for projects coming up in the next month. What am I going to do?
I've got
We have
no
all been.
boundaries whatsoever, and this is causing complete overwhelm and
Mhm,
burnout. What do I do?
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So ask, put your hand up, be honest, be vulnerable, put your hand up and ask for some specific help. Put in your situation,
Mm.
ask the question.
So
What about
easy.
at home, Sam?
What's
Let's
that
move
at
on
home?
to home because it's not about always, asking for what you need and want in your business,
Mhm.
but there is home life too.
Yeah, we spent a good hour recently, you and I, talking about the mental load that we both
Mhm,
carry, being partners, parents, running
mhm,
the home, being in charge of all the cooking,
mhm.
the mental energy it takes to keep a household running. And it's easy to allow that to continue. But
Mhm.
that's when that resentment and that anger starts festering. So you need to be honest about what it is you need at home as well.
Yeah. Asking for help at home is so key to you continuing to function as a business owner and someone running the
Yeah.
household. Like, our partners are more than capable of taking some of that mental load, doing some things around the home,
Mhm.
being responsible for something
Yeah.
that they need us to ask them specifically and directly for what you actually need and want. You cannot just assume or like say, "Oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I just need you to help more." Like, they don't know what to help with.
No.
They
I
don't.
mean, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It would be great if they did. It would be wonderful if we didn't have to ask them. It'd be great if we didn't have to say, like, the dishwasher or the lawns or the rubbish or, "Can you do the meal planning for the next week?" I mean, sometimes it's as simple as, "What do you want anything you want for dinner this week in particular? I'm planning out the meals." Nothing worse when, "Oh, I don't mind, whatever." Like,
Mm,
that drives me insane. It
mhm.
absolutely drives me insane. Like, I'm asking you for a reason, but you don't know the reason is because I am just my brain needs some help. Like, I've run out of ideas.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to tell me what you want for dinner out of the kindness of my heart because I wanna feed you something that you like. I'm actually asking you what you want for dinner next week because I'm out of ideas and I just
Mm,
need somebody to go, spaghetti bolognese, lasagna, stir fry, salad, like, so I don't have to think of it.
yeah. But when you're not specific and you're saying, "Oh, what do you want for dinner?" You're asking the wrong question, right?
Exactly, because they actually think they're doing you a favor by saying, "I don't mind," because they
Yes.
think that that's actually making your life easier, that you're not having to cater to
Mm.
their specific tastes.
Yes. Yes. So get specific with your partner, with your kids. Give your kids their responsibilities. Like, every day,
Yeah.
they are responsible for X, Y, Z. It's their list of chores or jobs. Get specific and let them know because you don't have to do everything. Our kids, we talk about this a lot. Our kids are way more capable than we give them credit for.
And so are our partners.
Yes.
They
Yes.
really are. They are
Yeah.
not children as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But we need to be specific.
Yeah.
That is the key here. So ask for help. Don't be a martyr and do everything and just like hope that your, kids and partner are going to work it out one day and help you and take the load off you. They're not. You actually have to ask them.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
touched on something there, Joe. Don't be a martyr.
Mm.
I think it's natural to think about us being a martyr in our home life, not so much in our business professional life. But as virtual assistants, we can absolutely be martyrs with our clients.
Yeah. Yes. And essentially, as a martyr, like, it's not asking for what you want.
Yeah.
It is not having the conversation. And it's kind of like comes into that passive aggressiveness as well, where you're like not actually asking for what you want, just like in the background, just being mad about it and doing everything. Well, like, how is that going to help?
It's
It's
not, and
not.
it's so not healthy. It's really not a healthy relationship to be in if you are doing work in that frame of mind.
Mhm. Mm. Yeah, it's not good for anyone.
No.
It is absolutely not good for anyone. So there we have it. Asking for what you need with clients, with referrals, posting, asking for help in groups or from your coaches, asking for help at home,
Yeah.
getting your clients to do things differently so that you're not frustrated by them.
Ask for what you need.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Sam and Joe VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the VA Foundry website to check out the Members Club and the amazing resources, training, and coaching.
You can find us at thevafoundry.com.